Everything is good in its own way. Everything is good in its own way. The way you choose to perceive your life will make the difference in how you feel about it. You see, so many of us end up in situations where we didn't choose to be there, we didn't choose to be a part of it, but there we are. Or at least we feel that we didn't choose to be a part of it. And when we feel that we didn't choose to be a part of it, but there we are and we have to deal with it, that causes some negative emotions, right? Naturally. We've all been there, of course. And we do have to do things that we don't want to do, right? At times. But the way we perceive and the way we choose to perceive what we go through makes all the difference. The way we choose to go about viewing our issues and being a part of issues, being a part of life altogether, makes all the difference. You see, a realization I had a couple weeks back. I say realization, what I mean is more of a grateful moment I had, was that there's good in everything. And obviously, again, this is something that's been in my mind for a long time, but I had the realization or the come-to moment as I was walking through the woods with my daughter and my dog on a Sunday morning or afternoon, morning, whatever it was. And it came to me that everything has its own good, right? Everything has its own good. Because I walked there and I found myself thinking about work the next day. I found myself thinking about what I was going to be doing the next day, what my day was going to consist of, the planning I needed to put in place, what I needed to do beforehand, right? Even though I was out in the woods, I was in nature, and I was with people I love. Why was that? What was that? Why was my mind there when I was physically there? I should have been enjoying the moment wholeheartedly. And I was enjoying it, but why was my mind somewhere else? And why was my mind on work? Well, that's when I had the realization. I said, this is amazing. I love doing this. I love being out in nature. This is what I want to spend more time doing. But there's also good in the work. There's also greatness in your pursuit. And you must be appreciative of that. Now, again, there's many different conversations of what I'm saying right now. Yeah, being more present with my daughter and my dog, that's another conversation to talk about. But what I'm bringing to your attention is that there's goodness in everything. There's goodness in all that you do. Even if you're not in the most purposeful endeavor just yet, financially, right? You're just there to pay your bills. There's still, most likely, I can't think of one that there's not, some sort of good that you're doing for somebody else. You're helping somebody in some way. You have an important part of the puzzle. Now, if that important part of the puzzle isn't important enough to you, and you need to change that, well, so be it. Make sure you change that. Don't just give up on it and avoid it. Right? But for me, I'm in a place in my life where I have a lot of good, purposeful things. I have a lot of good things going. The job, the main hustle that I do right now is purposeful to me. I get to push along a mission that helps kids read more books. What I should have been doing more so when I was younger. Right? Just one of those things. And I get to do it in a way that's pretty fun, pretty whatever you want to call it. I get to do it from home. I get to speak to people all day and just have fun with it. That's my mindset. That's what I have to remind myself, to have fun with it, because there's times that it's not so fun, right? Just like everything. But my perception, the way I perceive it, the way I choose to go about it makes all the difference. If I was to allow my mind to ruminate on the negativity of it and the things I don't like to do, well, that wouldn't really help, would it? So while I was walking through those woods and I was in that blissful energy of being in nature with people that I love, I had a moment of thinking of another good time that was coming. Now I took a step back and I said, hey, and I took some breaths, and I said, let me be in this moment completely presently. But before I did that, I journaled about what I'm talking about right now. I journaled very briefly about the goodness and everything, and being able to see it. Being able to see that good is the difference maker. Being able to see it, perceive it, and believe it, and conceive it, and all the good things, that is what makes the difference in your life. You see, because if you just, again, allow your mind to be in control, a lot of times it's going to be very negative in certain ways. It's going to be perceiving of the certain things that you aren't okay with. The certain things that make you feel negative. But if you take a step back and you develop that space to be mindful and actually achieve a state of peace within your mind, a state of control, You can be the one that chooses to be grateful. You can be the one that chooses to see the good in everything rather than the negativity in everything. Oh, yeah, there's always going to be malevolence and tragedy that's waiting at some point. But even then, are you going to be one who can actually help uplift others in those hard times? Are you going to be one that can actually help others when things get rough? Or are you going to be someone who falls into the dumps and it's just another negative pull down of everybody else? I believe personally that there's a large negative force in our society at large that it feeds upon our natural tendency to have a negativity bias, to be more attracted to negativity. You can see it in the news, you can see it in social media. Many times we're attracted to negativity. We want to know what's trying to kill us, right? And survivalistically, that's biological, right? That's a part of our system that keeps us alive, has kept us alive for thousands of years. But nowadays, we live in such simple times, such non-survivally based times, right? We all can not only survive, but thrive in some sort of way without really doing anything that survival takes, like not respecting any of our normal survival systems, not respecting the animal within. And so you create a lot of issues in doing so, right? We're meant to be running through the woods and fighting tigers and all this kind of stuff, or at least we can do that. We don't have to do that. We live in civilized societies. But we were doing that for millions of years. That's part of our biological nature. That's part of our makeup. So if we don't respect these things, these parts of our being, we're going to run into issues. If we don't exercise our body, well, our body's going to break down and we're not going to live as well, we're not going to live as long. We're not meant to be like that. If we don't develop our mind and use the greater faculties that we have as human beings, well, we're going to suffer as well. We're going to be more of the animal, and even though we're in a civilized society. Right, when we get stuck in that lower part of the mind that is based around fear and survival and the basic necessities, we don't use much of our reasoning faculty. We don't use our imagination. We then become pawns of a system. We then become pawns of whoever is in control. Now, we're getting a little deep here, man. My main point is that choosing to be grateful, choosing to take responsibility. Choosing to be grateful is being responsible and taking action upon an accord that makes sense for your life. Choosing to be grateful is choosing to be responsible for your life and then taking action upon the accord by which you want to live your life by. Because if you're ungrateful, you're just going to waste all the opportunities you have. If you're ungrateful, you're just going to fall into a pit of negativity and waste and squander the goodness and the greatness that's in you and around you. Nobody wants to be around that unless you're someone who does that too, right? Negativity attracts negativity. What is it? Miserability loves company. So, go into your day-to-day with gratitude. Begin a gratitude practice. These things are foundational to living a purposeful and exciting existence. Begin to do a small journaling practice. What are 2-3 things that you're grateful for? Do it first thing in the morning. Do a gratitude meditation. That's what I do. I use an app called Balance. You should really check it out. Balance is amazing. They're giving out free trials right now for the whole, a free year membership. Cost them money. They're giving it out for free. No sponsorship here yet. We're going to get there. That's an amazing app. I've been using it for like 4 or 5 years. It's amazing balance meditation. That's what it's called, Balance. And it's amazing for meditation. All types of meditations. But anyways, use that first thing in the morning. That's what I do. 5 minutes. First thing. Right after I wake up, put my clothes on. That's what I do. And I notice when I don't do it, my days are a lot harder. I don't feel as grateful as I do when I do it first thing in the morning. And there's a lot of reasons why. You can get in the brain waves and your subconscious mind and so on and so forth. But you don't have to know all that. Just know that if you do gratitude or something that makes you think gratefully or feel grateful first thing in the morning, you're going to be more grateful throughout the day much easier. Either way, be grateful overall. Choose to be the positive person in your life that sees the positive in everything that you do, that sees the goodness in all that you do. Don't be another negative person that brings negativity and brings everybody else down. Unless, that is, you want to be around more people like that. Or you want to bring those in your life to that kind of negative sense of awareness. Don't be like that. Love your life. Be all that you can be. Be more. Be grateful. I love you guys. Have an amazing day.